ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very exciting segment today. And of course, today is the 15th day of February, and of course 25 degrees and mostly sunny right here in Brisbane. It's wonderful to have your company. Today we have the news update, and coming up after the news update is our daily India report. First of all, a very good news today, which is about that breakthrough in the cancer research. Here's that report.
Zero Childhood Cancer Program is a world-leading precision medicine program. It's led by Children's Cancer Institute and the Kids Cancer Centre at Sydney Children's Hospital. It's a national program involving every children's hospital around the country. It's a remarkable collaboration between clinicians and doctors working together.
At the moment, the program is limited to the really sick kids. Obviously very good for the cancer patients, any kid with cancer now getting access to the program, but how will that help research efforts going down the track?
So this program involves the detailed genetic sequencing of an individual child's cancer. It allows us to look for the genetic changes that are driving each child's cancer, and then wherever possible we can identify a treatment that matches, a drug that matches the genetic changes in that child's cancer. What we're learning from this extraordinary genetic analysis about the biology of children's cancer is huge. The more children that are enrolled on Zero, the more we learn, and therefore more children in the future will benefit from this program.
Can you tell us about a little child we've been following news of, Christian?
Yes.
Give us his example of what happened to him.
So this is an example of how we can match by identifying the genetic changes and then matching it to a drug, that we can get an extraordinary outcome. Now, this doesn't happen for every child, but in the case of Christian, he was diagnosed at the age of 15 months with a rare aggressive brain tumour called anaplastic astrocytoma. He was treated at Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne. He had several rounds of intensive chemotherapy. That didn't work. The tumour actually progressed. It didn't shrink. He was given less than a year to live. Obviously, for parents, this is devastating news. He was then enrolled on Zero. His tumour was sequenced. We were able to identify a specific genetic change that was driving his tumour. There was a drug that matched that genetic change. There was a clinical trial open at Sydney Children's Hospital. He was treated on that, and within weeks the MRI scans showed that the tumour had stopped growing, and now he's 7 years old. He's going to school, he's living a full life. This is an example of how this personalised medicine can help children.
He's
with
a beautiful
cancer.
young boy, and hopefully we'll see many more Christians, right?
Indeed.
As this program is expanded.
Yes, so it's about the hope of improved outcomes, fewer side effects, but also the knowledge that we get for the future.
How soon can parents gain access to it?
So this is going to be rolled out progressively over the next 12 months. The Zero program has been open since 2017 for children only with the highest risk cancers.
Yeah.
Now this is going to be for every one of the 1,000 young people aged 0 to 18. The first cohort of children will be the children with brain tumours, every child with brain tumours in the country, and then progressively over the course of this year, groups of children with every other type of cancer, so that by the end of the year it will be available to every child in the country with cancer.
Michelle, why hasn't it happened up till now? Has it been staffing, money, progress in science?
Well, initially the first national clinical trial was a test of would this approach work. What we've been able to show with the high-risk children, that of the first 250 children who were treated on the program, of those who received their recommended treatment, 70% either had a complete remission, a partial remission, or their tumour was stabilised. So we have proof of principle that this precision medicine program could work. As a result of that, with the support of funding from the government and Minderoo, and the time it takes to scale up this program from the 150 children to the 1,000 children a year, that's why we're extremely excited that this is about to roll out now.
Well, even if it's light, at least it's happening. So that's a good part about it. And I'd love to see that, go ahead in leaps and bounds, because that is a breakthrough. And why has it not happened earlier? We are in a age of technological advancement. Medical science has come up so well ahead, but right now, well, at least it is happening now. Well done.
No reprieve in sight. This massive blaze near Miles has now burnt out nearly 30,000 hectares.
It's about 15% contained. The rest of it is out of control and running hard.
Containment lines have been set up to try and protect the township of Miles.
Rapidly moving forest fire, very dangerous conditions, no opportunity for firefighters to stop something like that.
Residents say they were terrified as the front raged through yesterday.
It's really bad if the fire just comes from all directions to your house. It's like, it's really... Yeah, I couldn't take it. I got into my car and I took off.
Some had minutes to flee after rural firefighters came knocking.
Yeah, like I've lost everything. All my clothes are like, these are the clothes that I've got.
Quite horrific, because we were getting the dogs out with flames in front of us.
Many evacuees are still wondering if they have a home to go back to.
Say it's a 50-50 chance.
Shannon Arlay has battled fires in the Western Downs before, but never this severe.
This was crazy, when that wall of fire just come through and just swallowed everything.
The caravan park has opened its doors to evacuees. The showgrounds is providing shelter for rescued animals.
At the end of the day, the most important thing is we're alive, we still have each other, and the kids still have their pets. So at the end of the day, it's just rebuilding now.
Many have praised firefighters for risking their lives to save others.
Hats off to them. I mean, what they've had to endure in the last few days is just... I dread to think what they've been through. It's just harrowing.
While the fire in Tara has been contained, at least 20 dwellings here have been destroyed.
Everything's gone now, all the sheds, everything.
But even this couple say their thoughts are with those in Miles as the inferno grows. Weather is key to what happens next, with firefighters saying it's moving into unstable territory, with erratic winds continuing to fuel flames, making it difficult to stop quick-moving spot fires from spreading. 14 fires continue to burn across the state, the firestorms so huge they can be seen via satellite.
Right now, all the way from Australia and the bushfires will go to New Zealand, and after New Zealand we'll go to Fiji. Both New Zealand and Fiji, not very good news. Well, hope they're keeping well in New Zealand.
Yeah, look, many are waking up here in New Zealand to widespread devastation. Once again this morning, the Prime Minister here has called this weather event the most significant one we've faced this century. Now here in Auckland, thankfully the worst of the storm has now passed. We're now in clean-up mode. You might be able to see this giant felled tree behind me, and the storm is now moving southeast down our coastline. It's currently just sitting east of our East Cape, and that's where the brunt of the storm is currently being felt. Last night officials confirmed our first cyclone-related death, a woman who was trapped in her house. There was a bank that fell into her home and crushed it. Police also confirmed last night a body was found on the shore in a similar area, although at this stage it's not yet known if that death is weather related. There's also concern here in Auckland about a trapped firefighter off Auckland's west coast. He and a colleague were investigating a home for flooding when a bank above them collapsed, crushing the home they were in. One of the firefighters has been recovered, but another is still unaccounted for. So a lot of concern about just the widespread devastation caused by this cyclone across our North Island.
Yeah, and just the logistics for the clean-up. Homes are still without power. Do you have an idea when the situation might ease?
Yeah, that's right. Well, look, 225,000 homes without power is the latest information we have across the North Island, and 2,500 people displaced from their homes as well. Now, the power companies are working overtime to restore as much power as possible, but our Emergency Management Minister said that it could be days and maybe even weeks for some people before power is fully restored. So a really big clean-up job ahead for really the entire North Island.
All right, Jacob, thank you for bringing us
Big cleanup in New Zealand, and love that Kiwi accent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, right now we go to Fiji, where an 80-year-old boy has been electrocuted at a luxury resort.
8-year-old Cairo Winatana was on holiday with his family in Fiji at this luxury resort on Denarau Island near Nandi. But on Thursday evening, the Pacific trip turned to tragedy when Cairo was found motionless near a flower garden inside the Club Wyndham Resort. He was taken to Nandi Hospital but could not be revived. A post-mortem has confirmed he was electrocuted. Police are still investigating how that happened. Wyndham Destinations says their management team is currently conducting a thorough investigation into the incident and are cooperating with the police and authorities. They've described Cairo's death as a tragic accident and say they have expressed heartfelt condolences to the family. On social media, Cairo's mother, Amber, posted a photo of her son as a newborn, along with the words, "I loved you, my son, from the moment I found out I was carrying you, and will love you forevermore, my beautiful, beautiful blue eyes." Cairo Winatana is a New Zealand citizen, but lived in southwestern Sydney, playing rugby league for the Milpera Colts. The club has paid tribute to Cairo, describing him as a shy, tough little kid who loved his footy, once a Colt, always a Colt. More than $20,000 have already been raised by the community online to help cover travel expenses and a funeral service, as the family starts the difficult process of bringing Cairo home. Nabil El-Nashar, ABC News.
From that tragic news, right now it's time to go to our daily India report.
Welcome to the Daily India Report that brings you reports, interviews, features and more on India and the Indian diaspora. India is poised to become the world's largest defence manufacturing base soon, as it aims to take its defence exports up to $5 billion by 2024 to 2025.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India will soon be the world's largest defence manufacturing base and that his government aims to take India's defence exports up to $5 billion by 2024-25. The Prime Minister said this while inaugurating the 14th edition of Asia's biggest aero show, Aero India 2023. The Prime Minister has said that the target is to take defence exports to $5 billion by 2024-25. Modi said, India will soon be the world's largest defence manufacturing base. He further stated that India is not just a market for global defence companies, but also a potential defence partner and an emerging global powerhouse. He added that New India will neither lose out on any opportunity nor will it lag behind in hard work. The Indian Prime Minister said that he foresees New India of the 21st century ready with reforms and ushering in revolution in every sector. Among the targets, India will now effort to be turned from being the biggest defence importer for decades to now the exporter of defence equipment to 75 countries. Defence ministers of 32 countries, air chiefs of 29 countries and 73 CEOs of global and Indian defence OEMs have confirmed their participation in the 5-day-long Aero India 2023 show being held at Air Force Station Yelahanka in Bengaluru.
Malaysian copper tube maker Medtube has signed an agreement with the Gujarat state government to set up a manufacturing plant in Sanand. The plant will provide total direct and indirect employment to some 1,500 people.
Malaysian copper tube manufacturer Medtube Copper India Private Limited, the Indian arm of Malaysian copper tube maker Medtube, on February 13 signed an agreement with the government of Gujarat state to set up a manufacturing plant in Sanand. The company is set to invest about 1,000 crore rupees in the first phase for setting up the facility. The copper tubes manufactured are widely used in refrigeration and air conditioning industries. The manufacturing plant will come up at Sanand Industrial Estate 2 and is expected to be commissioned by January 2024. The plant will be useful in reducing the carbon footprint in the future as it will make the 5th generation copper tube. The MOU was exchanged between Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel and Apurva Bagri, chairman of Medtube Copper India in Gandhinagar. Patel said, "This is the first copper tube manufacturing unit in India and is on the lines of Atmanirbhar Bharat. The state government will extend all possible support to help commission the plant." The company is one of the players which has committed investments under the Production Linked Incentive Scheme for components manufacturing in the white goods sector. In the first phase, the plant will provide total direct and indirect employment to some 1,500 people.
Boeing India has announced the launch of its first global support center in India, which will be based in the state of Haryana in North India. US aerospace major Boeing on February 13th announced the launch of its first global support center in India and also plans to invest in a new logistics center to cater to its regional customers. GSC, based in the state of Haryana, will deliver customized operational efficiency and safety improvement projects for Boeing's airline customers, civil aviation regulatory bodies, and other industry stakeholders. The India Logistics Center in its initial phase will focus on supporting airline customers. Boeing India President Salil Gupte said that GSC India will provide a platform to enable knowledge transfer for enhancing safety and increasing operational efficiency for Boeing's airline partners in the country. Under the initiative, the GSE India will conduct technical workshops and projects to support aircraft reliability, enhance aeroplane performance, and encourage the adoption of airplane health management systems. For operational improvements, GSC India will work with operators and regulators on structures and airworthiness, the maintenance error decision aid, a human factors tool, air traffic management, aerospace optimization, and low visibility operation through head-up display and enhanced flight vision system. Boeing eyes a growing domestic market and increasing opportunities for international growth in and through India. The aviation sector requires more holistic service support to drive efficient fleet operations. Today, more than 150 Boeing planes, including the next generation 737, 737 MAX, 757, 777 and 787 Dreamliner are operated by leading Indian commercial airlines. India is set to become a mobile phone manufacturing hub for the world soon, as it is not only manufacturing its own requirements but also exporting to the world. With a huge share of its consumption coming from made in India products, India is well on its way to becoming a manufacturing hub for the world. Dixon Technologies, one of the leading manufacturing companies, has around 8 manufacturing factories in Uttar Pradesh itself, employing more than 10,000 people and manufacturing products such as LED, televisions and mobile phones. Speaking at the Uttar Pradesh Global Investors Summit, Sunil Vachani, CMD at Dixon, said that almost 65% of mobile component manufacturing happens in Uttar Pradesh. 40% of LED lights sold in India are made in the state. He added that Dixon is opening 3 more centers for manufacturing. First, for manufacturing consumer and telecom products, whose focus would not stay limited to made in India, but made for the world. The second factory would be manufacturing smartwatches, wearables and hearables. Finally, India's largest manufacturing facility for refrigerators with a capacity of producing 1.2 million in a year exists in Greater Noida. All 3 factories, once operational, will create job opportunities for over 10,000 people. There was a time when India was importing almost all its electronic requirements. However, now for the first time, out of the total $120 billion worth of consumption, $80 billion worth of electronic items will be manufactured in India. Earlier, India was dependent on imports for 90% of mobile components. But today, the country is not only manufacturing its entire requirements, but also looking at exporting mobile phones worth $100 billion. Indian equity markets traded in the green in the morning session of February 14 amid strong global cues.
The Indian stock market opened in the green on February 14, tracking the overnight gains in Wall Street. Stocks of UPL, Infosys and TCS gained, while stocks of Adani Enterprises and Tata Motors lagged in the morning session. The Realty Index came under pressure in early trading as it shed more than 2% with all stocks in the red. On February 13th, Sensex and the Nifty witnessed losses of around 0.5%. The index of the top 30 companies at the Bombay Stock Exchange, Sensex, ended below the 60,500 mark. The index of the top 50 companies at the National Stock Exchange closed below the 17,800 level. Both stocks fell amid mixed global cues. The Sensex declined 251 points or 0.41% to close at 60,432. The Nifty 50 also fell 86 points or 0.48% to settle at 17,771.
Veteran Bollywood superstar Sharmila Tagore Patodi is staging a comeback to the big screen after 13 years. Sharmila co-stars in the film Gulmohar with Manoj Bajpayee. Gulmohar will premiere on Disney Plus Hotstar on March 3rd.
Yesteryear's superstar Sharmila Tagore will soon be seen on the big screen once more as the trailer of her upcoming film Gulmohar was released. Sharmila Tagore is making her comeback to films after 13 years. She was last seen in Danish Aslam's Break Ke Baad with Deepika Padukone and Imran Khan. The story of Gulmohar revolves around 3 generations of a family who have all drifted apart over the years. Directed by Rahul Vichitela, the film features Sharmila Tagore as the matriarch Kusum Batra. The trailer shows that Kusum decides to sell the family home in Gulmohar and relocate to Pondicherry. Her announcement causes a ripple in the family, leaving her son Arun, played by Manoj Bajpayee, unsettled, and her grandson, played by Suraj Sharma, seeking to be more independent. Gulmohar also stars Simran as Arun's wife along with other cast members Amol Palekar, Kaveri Seth and Utsavi Jha. Along with the distant father-son relationship, the trailer also hints that a family secret about their late father's will could break apart the family even more than the distance between Delhi and Pondicherry. The film's score has been composed by Siddharth Khosla. The Emmy-nominated composer has scored the music on the American shows This Is Us and Only Murders in the Building. Gulmohar will premiere on Disney Plus Hotstar on March 3rd.
यकीन ही नहीं हो रहा ये हमारी आखिरी रात है इस घर में मामा.
That's all for this bulletin of the Daily India Report.
And thank you very much, Simran, for that report. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all we have time for you today. Don't forget that at 10 a.m. we have the real estate update with Usa Chandra of GlobeNet Reality. Until then, it's goodbye from us.